Hi guys, sorry if it's like dark. It's like 5:42 a.m. the sun barely coming up, and I think this lighting is all right, so let's get it cracking. So I had a dream, and it's so good. It's pertaining to kingdom marriages. Yeah, so I was at an event, and the thing about like prophetic dreams, you either remember every detail or it's so jam-packed with detail it's hard to remember. This specific one I had to pray and ask for just for God to bring everything back to me, and the details that need to be shared have been given. So I was at a very, very important event, and the reason that I know that I was at a very important event is because I remember myself this is so ghetto, but I was crip walking, okay? Like, okay, so I'm from Arizona. I grew up, it says more light required, whatever. I grew up seeing, like, I grew up crip walking, okay? Like, that was one of the dances, especially in the 2000s. Y'all knew that was the style. Anyway, so I was in, like, some heels, and my dress was so long that it was kind of getting caught up with the heels, but my feet was just going. Like, I was just like, what are you doing? And so, yeah, so it was just like a very large event where I was very dressed up. And, sorry y'all, bear with me. I jumped right out of bed and straight to work, so. Alright. So I was crip walking in a dress. And so also, it was just a very happy event, a whole bunch of people, and my dad was there. The thing about my dad, he's very unimpressed with a lot of things. So I was asking him if he was okay. It was a wedding. And I asked him, I don't even think that I asked him. I saw the way that he was interacting with the man that I assumed was the groom in the dream. My dad was happy. Like, he was, you could almost sense like there was no reason for him to be like protective or aggressive or on standby or standoffish or anything. It was almost like my dad gave his protectional authority, if that's even a word, to this man, but they were having fun together. And then after the dream, not after the dream, so kind of the event kind of ended, and me, like, I don't like, in real life, I'm not gonna say I don't care for my family. There's just a lot of things that I know spiritually has happened in my family, and a lot of unanswered questions that I've got revelation about on specific things. So I know to stay away from specific family members, stay away from specific things, and that's that. So I'm very standoffish with my family now, and what's sad is, like, we were very, very, very tight on both sides. But, you know, just like Jesus, it's like, you know, yeah, these people are my blood, but I have family that I'm connected to through God. You know what I mean? Those who get it. Those who don't, you know, just read your Bible and ask for revelation on what exactly that means. Anyway, so the event was ending. So, like, I almost immediately went to the bathroom, and I was getting dressed, putting on my work clothes. Like, okay, party's over, now back to, you know, reality and what I normally do. So I went to the bathroom, I was getting dressed, put on my work clothes, did my hair. I was having an issue low-key with my hair. And then when I was walking out, it was like the event was so big. It was like a party on the inside, but then there was like this very large happy pool party outside, like very large. So when I was done getting dressed, I was walking outside to get to my car, and there was like another family where we were just partying at. So it was almost like it was an event. It was an event. So our event was over and a new event was starting or happening. And I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but it was like the black people and we were exiting, and then the white people were there. But when the white people were there, it was almost like the party was very, very subdued. Like, it wasn't as big and grand and happy as my party, as the party that just ended. Like, we had a pool, we had all this stuff, and they had like a little water slide with like a few people over here, and then they had people, a whole bunch of people like in the grass with like chairs and things. Like, it wasn't as grand. It was very like I think God did that to emphasize how important and large that event was. And there was also a small happening, or something that happened towards the end. So there was someone across the street that was like waiting on a ride or something like that, and he was by himself. We were in a very nice area, so there was like, you know, white or Caucasian people, a group of them walking towards this person that was on the opposite side of the street that was by itself. So it was a group of white people walking towards this one man, and the person that was standing next to me was like, look, watch this. And so they almost asked the man, like, hey, do you need help? Like, you know how typically when racism and things happen, like, oh, you're out of place, like, do you need help? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you go to a store and they're like watching you because, you know, you're not white or whatever. And so there was a group of them walking towards him like, hey, are you okay? Are you lost? But before they had the chance to ask him, they looked across the street and saw this big family of people, of black people. So they were like, they were approaching him, but then looked across the street and saw this large group and was like, oh, okay, that's where he belongs, type of thing. I'm getting revelation on that too, on its own. Like, I feel like crying. So it's one of those things where, like with me, I never really felt like I belonged, you know what I mean? Maybe this is going to be a revelation for some of you guys, that when you do get married, your husband's family is going to make you feel like a part of them. Like, you won't feel like an outcast or left alone. You'll be even though you'll be doing your own thing or separate, you are a part of them now. Like, there's a completeness. And let me God is so good, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. So when I had got that message, I looked at the clock. I forget the time, I'm gonna post it here, but I had asked him a specific question, because he also said, like, get ready. And then I was like, ready for what? Like financially and all that? Like, what does that mean? And so I looked at the time, and I looked at Strong's Concordance on what specifically he meant. The time that was on the clock, I'm gonna screenshot it because I ain't no fibber, I ain't no liar. The definition of that number in Strong Concordance meant completion. Like, come on, like, God is so good, and I'm so blessed, and I'm so happy. And yeah, so just take that as you will, pray on it, make sure that you're in your season. If you're not in your season, God says to prepare, and to prepare for, you know, the completeness. And what's more complete than a husband and a wife coming into one? Like, come on, y'all have a great Friday.